The matter of Rachel Dolezal's ethnicity might have remained her own business had she not assumed such a visible role in her community. As the president of the NAACP in the small town of Spokane, Washington, she campaigned for racial justice and stood alongside heroes of the Black Lives Matter movement like Baltimore prosecutor Marilyn Mosby. But now the town's administration wants to know, was she telling the truth when she ticked the white, African American and Native American boxes on official paperwork? Her parents, who are both white, say not.
What is your daughter's ethnicity?
Our daughter is primarily German and Czech and of European descent.
So she's white.
Caucasian.
She's white. Mm-hmm.
She's a blonde, blue-eyed, freckle-faced girl growing up.
Rachel grew up in a mixed-race household with adoptive African-American siblings. Although she's now divorced, her ex-husband is black. As well as leading the local chapter of the NAACP, Rachel teaches African-American studies at the local college.
She knows it's false, but I think she's told herself, as well as she's told others, this erroneous identity of hers enough that by now she may believe it more than she believes the truth.
In February, when she was interviewed over racist and threatening letters to her office, she was asked to confirm her father is an African-American man. She's shown a photo of someone now thought to be an NAACP volunteer.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad.
This man right here is your father? Right there?
You have a question about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was wondering if your dad really is an African-American man.
That's a very, I mean, I don't know what you're implying.
Are you African-American?
I don't understand the question of, I did tell you that, yes, that's my dad. And he was unable to come in January.
Are your parents, are they white?
But since her parents spoke out about her identity, Rachel Dolezal has been forced again to clarify whether she is, in fact, black.
And I would say that if I was asked, I would definitely say that yes, I do consider myself to be black.
The NAACP has released a statement in support of Ms. Dolezal and her advocacy, saying she's in a legal dispute with her parents, adding racial identity has never been a qualifying or disqualifying matter for leadership. Kylie Morris, Channel 4 News, Washington.
Well, joining me now here in the studio is Rainey Edo-Lodge, a writer on race and gender issues. Thanks for coming into the programme.
Thanks for having me.
Bizarre stuff, isn't it? What's your reaction?
Well, actually, when I woke up this morning and I read this story, I was like, is this real? Like, is this a hoax? I was sort of gobsmacked. I wasn't outraged. I didn't feel sympathy. I was just gobsmacked. And, you know, having the news sink in and sort of reading some of her own writings on race and gender, the whole thing is just very troubling.
Does it show commitment to the cause?
Well, the thing is, when you actually go and read her writings on race and gender, she is a white person who gets it, like she understands the issues and the intricacies and the nuance of racism in America. And so I'm again confounded that she would then sort of take on this faux black identity in order to challenge those things, when actually it's almost like the question about men and feminism, isn't it? The question is, where do men fit in? And the answer is, convince other men. And that's the same with white people and racism. Convince other white people. Don't take up spaces.
So does it offend you that she's taken up the cause in this rather strange way?
I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with a white person who's passionate about ending racism at all. My issue is, I think, organisations to do with black representation should probably be led by black people. Another thing that really worries me is the way that this whole story, because she purports to be mixed, of mixed heritage, and I'm the big sister of an 18-year-old mixed race boy and an 8-year-old mixed race girl. And I think that actually this story could somewhat undermine their legitimacy when they grow up and they're looking for a sense of belonging. And suddenly people are saying to them, we need receipts. We need to see pictures of your mum and your dad because there was this big news story a while back and we're not quite sure, you know?
On the other hand, she's been getting a lot of hate mail on social media. I mean, that is unacceptable, isn't it? That's overstepping the line from the other side.
It's uncool. It's uncool, but at the same time,
uncool.
Like we don't know whether she's even reading this or she hasn't really made a statement or whatnot. So I haven't really seen any of the hate mail going on. I know that she did say that she's been receiving some hate crime. She's been on the receiving end. But again, this somewhat like unraveling lie makes me wonder, did this actually happen? And it pains me to have to doubt somebody's testimony in that way. But she's casting a lot of doubt on this.
But even the NAACP in Washington State has said, actually, it's okay. Racial identity should not define whether you're, fighting for our cause or not.
Again, I don't have an issue with the race, but I think, and she does seem like a person who is incredibly informed about the issues, but I do think that people who aren't white should be leading organisations to do with the advancement of people who aren't white.
I mean, one thing I find really odd is that she apparently called the police on 8 occasions reporting a hate crime against her. And that does seem to be a bit strange that she didn't then fess up at that stage and say, well, actually, although I fundamentally believe in this cause, I'm not one of them.
Again, we don't really know anything about her intent until she makes a statement and inevitably gets her book deal and the movie about her life. I'm sure that'll all happen. But what we can discuss is the impact. And the impact is that I think that she will undermine the legitimacy of many mixed heritage people who are wondering where their place is inside black activism and black movements.